Well, hey everyone, and welcome to our summertime wellness event. This is where we're going to talk a little bit about the season of summer, how that relates to five element theory and the fire element, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Um, First of all, though, I want to wish everybody a happy Lunar Chinese New Year. I know that's still in process going on around the world and have been trying to keep up with everything, but I just thought I would wish everyone a happy new year because we are going to talk a little bit about fire and the color red. And I know within this particular Chinese New Year, red is the color of good luck. So wishing everybody good luck with the color of red. We are going to talk a little bit about Sunrider products. So as I always do, let me move us out of the way. I just want to mention that none of the information provided in this presentation is intended to represent a diagnosis or cure of any illness or disease. Little bit about Sunrider before we get started, just for any new people that might be watching on the recording. Sunrider has been around for over 40 years, so it's an extremely stable company. We operate in over 50 countries around the world, allowing us an international business opportunity if we choose to do so. Sunrider manufactures, or I should say, controls 100% of all of the research, development, and manufacturing of our products, which is kind of unheard of in this industry. Most companies just write out a recipe of what they want to produce. They give it to a third-party company that manufactures their products for them. Not with Sunrider. We internally handle 100% of the research, development, and manufacturing of over 400 of the highest quality health and beauty products on the market today. Everything from whole food nutritionals to cleansing beverages to weight management, sports and fitness, green household, and all natural cosmetic and skincare. What truly sets Sunrider apart, in my opinion anyway, is that everything is produced under what we call our philosophy of regeneration, which basically says if you nourish your body and cleanse it with the right combination of whole food nutrients and cleansing beverages, your body will not only be healthy, but it will also be in balance, and it will allow itself to naturally repair, renew, and regenerate itself. Sunrider, again, uses no chemicals. These are all whole food herbal-based products that are super concentrated under our proprietary manufacturing process. Let's talk a little bit about five element theory for a second. Let me kind of move us out of the way here just so people can see the screen. When you look at five element theory, it's basically broken down into two cycles. There's the yin, or the promotion cycle, and the yang, and the control cycle. And that's very well it's laid out here on the screen. As you might expect in the promotion cycle, you take two pieces of wood and you rub them together and you create fire. Fire creates ash, which nourishes the earth, and it just goes around. On the control side, it's very similar to that too, where, as an example, again, fire melts metal, metal cuts wood, wood controls the earth by growing roots in the trees. So you can see how these cycles all both control and promote each other. And that's the basis of the five element theory. Now, again, each element has its own associated organs: smell, taste, sound, color, emotion, climate, direction, quality, you name it. And we'll talk a little bit about as we get into this fire element, or summer wellness, which is time for the fire element. And very quickly, I just want to touch on summer is associated with the element fire, which relates to the heart and the small intestines in terms of the body organs. Fire is light and warmth. The function of fire in the body is to maintain heat, but also to give warmth to others, giving enthusiasm, vitality, and energy. The element is also associated with the emotion of joy and sadness, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute as we get into the products. It relates to the southern direction, the color red, which we touched on a few minutes ago, and the taste of bitter. The heart, one of the key body organs that are associated with this element, is the source of life pumping blood, which we all know, in carrying warmth, oxygen, and nutrients throughout the body. It works closely with our lungs to gain oxygen and with the digestive system to attain nutrients. The small intestine, which is the other organ that's so primary in this particular element, is a long organ with a large surface area that works to digest our food and absorb the nutrients, which it sends directly into our blood supply. Within this summer element time, diet and exercise are very important to keep your fire element strong. proper nutrition is vital to maintaining a healthy heart. We suggest an increase in your fruits and your vegetables, and try to eliminate things like refined foods, coffee, alcohol, tobacco, and cutting back on animal fats like red meat and dairy products. Summer is the time of year to kind of recharge those internal batteries with solar power, if you will. Keep the body loose by getting good exercise. It's a time for growth and coming forth. You know, we're going to utilize several Sunrider products, as we always do within the seasonal element program. And we also recommend using local products that specifically nourish the fire element, I should say, during the period. As we get into this thing, there are a few different products that we're kind of call as required products, but hey, obviously we all have our own choices as to what we use and what we don't. But I do want to talk a little bit about a couple of the key products. And in particular, I'd like to touch on the product Prime Again, because Prime Again is a fire element herbal product that Sunrider developed to nourish the endocrine system, which is tied into the fire element itself. And as always, Sunriders combine these herbs in such an incredible formulation to really address the needs of the endocrine system with things like Chinese yam, which is a great source of vitamin B1 and C. It also contains potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, zinc, and copper. Paria, which has been used for a long time within traditional Chinese medicine as a therapeutic tonic to support the immune system and removal of toxins. And paper mulberry, which is a flowering plant that's a great source of iron and vitamin C. So again, in typical fashion, Sunriders really combine these herbs to create a formula that truly nourishes our fire element with fire element herbs. One other thing I want to come back before we move on, and Benny, you can tell us about some of the other products here in a second, but I mentioned joy as the emotion tied into the fire element. And again, some of the ways you might see an imbalance in your fire element in the association of joy is either an excess of laughter or no sense of humor at all, scattered or confused mind, coolness or being aloof, inappropriate friendliness, or an inability to give or receive warmth from others. It's also interesting that when you feel as if, you know, again, you might be out of balance a little bit in this particular element, you might find things or feeling as if you've lost your heart or lost your spark or wonder where your burning desire has gone. And it's also something that again can appear in terms of a lump in the throat, or someone who otherwise has trouble expressing themselves. Stress is also big in this thing. So if you feel like you have stress in your life, or you're finding yourself, you're always going like a house of fire, okay? Or it feels like you're always putting out fires, or people tell you, slow down, where's the fire, okay? It could have to do with an imbalance that you're experiencing yourself within the fire element. So with that, Benny, can you kind of unmute yourself and tell us about a couple of the other products that are here on the required list?
Yeah. I'd just like to touch a little bit on TCM.
Please.
With regards to the fire element, right? As you people might know, the fire element involves the circulation of the body. It involves the heart, and it involves certain organs in the body that's related to the fire. Now, when we talk about the fire element, it also is extended outside in our environment. See, fire, in summertime, fire creates what they call damp heat. That's why recently in our Australian environment, the weather, we have a sudden gush of hot air. We have a hot day of 35 degrees centigrade, and then the next day it's cold at 20 degrees centigrade. So it comes in as damp and heat and cold with the fire element in summertime. So it also relates to the body too. The body has what they call damp heat in summertime. We're talking about summer wellness. So damp heat is again dampness and heatiness in the body. And we need to have products to be able to stimulate the body and balance it back. So to be able to balance the body back, we go into some of the products that would help tremendously. The first thing we talk about would be Vitadophilus. Vitadophilus helps because in the fire element, it relates also to the intestines, the small intestines. So with Vitadophilus, we need to have the prebiotics from there and probiotics from the nucleus that goes into the small intestines. So prebiotics is when they create all the great friendly bacteria that you have, and it's protected by the apopectin in our Vitadophilus. And in the stomach, it goes into the small intestines, and then it's all ready, and it's creating a great amount of friendly bacteria in there. And here comes the probiotics, our nucleus, protein, VitaShake. These are what the bacteria will gobble it all up, and then it helps the body and balances the body. So that is when people have damp heat, they call it damp heat. In Chinese, they call it subheat. Subheat. Richard, you might know that, and Rosa, you might know what subheat is when you have damp heat in the body. So you need to balance it with these products, and of course, hydration. You need the hydration in the Fortune Delight. Say Fortune Delight, the hydration, you need that to be able to nourish the system. And also it helps with Fortune Delight, it binds whatever unused fats that's in your body, right? We understand it as a cleansing beverage, but it's more than just a cleansing fat beverage with Fortune Delight. It also, the big thing it does is it binds with the unused fats that's in the body, which is toxic, and flushes it all out. And of course, with Fortune Delight, you still need to have a lot of water to help flush out all the toxins from the body. Basically, this is how I look at using these products at the summertime when a fire element is really rampant in our body and in our environment.
Excellent, Binny. You know, I have to laugh because all I can picture in my head now is these cute little bacteria going into my stomach, and then the NuPlus, and they're all gobbling up all that NuPlus to make more and more of them. So that's a picture that's in my head right now, but that's, you painted a really nice picture of that. And I love the way that you brought in the Fortune Delight too, because you're absolutely right. I mean, that's how all of those toxins get flushed out, and Fortune Delight's a perfect example of a formula that, you're right, will bind to the toxins and flush them out of the body. So thank you so much for that great explanation, and the visual you created certainly for me on this. So
it's just a simple way, how the body works. And it's great to know, we need to have lots of the Vitadophilus, because you need at least 2 or 4 a day, depending on how much you eat, you see.
Ideally, huh?
Yeah,
exactly.
You need prebiotics and probiotics, and we've got all of them in Sunrider.
That's right. Well, one of the things that my wife and I started doing some time ago is our first food every day is usually a Vitadophilus. We want that as the first thing in our stomach every morning. And then, I love the idea of incorporating NuPlus. I eat it right out of the bag every day, at least 2 of them. And I'll usually throw in a quinary, which we haven't really talked about, but just very quickly in terms of the 5 elements, quinary nourishes all 5 of our systems: digestive, immunity, respiratory, circulation, and endocrine. So again, what a combination of herbs to really address everything going on in our body. The Electrosport, of course, is fabulous, especially in the summertime if we're perspiring a lot and losing minerals and electrolytes. Nothing better than Electrosport to get your body back in balance, which is a term that you used so well earlier, Binny. So thank you for that. There's also a list of other recommended foods for the season. I don't want to spend a lot of time here at all. Some of these you can't even get in Australia, which I apologize about, but there's some great things. I mean, the AS, I think, is what you guys call Assimilate. Other
The
things
80.
that are obviously great for us would be, you know, the Vita Fruit, the Vita Spray, the Vita Taste, of course, especially if we're looking at eating any sugars or simple carbs. So again, there's just some other ideas of some foods that you can potentially look at. Here's another one too. And again, I'm going to move our picture out of the way here for just a minute. Um, Also like to recommend table foods that are very appropriate for the season as well. And again, this is just a list with suggestions. Obviously, you guys in your region in Australia, whether you be in the Sydney area, up on the Gold Coast, wherever you happen to be, I mean, look at the things that are in season and are at your local farmers markets and available to you there, and try to incorporate as many of these things as you can into your diet. I also threw up here for those that wanted to look at it. This, we're talking specifically about summer now, but I did find this article, since February is Health Heart Month. I thought it was appropriate. I pulled something from heart.org, Healthy for Good, and it just kind of lists some of the seasonal eatings and what we might consider in our areas in terms of good seasonal foods to eat during a particular season. So we'll have that up there for people to review. And again, I'll try to post all of these little sheets again as I can onto both the WhatsApp group as well as our Australian Rising Stars Facebook page, so everyone can see this again outside of the presentation. I want to talk just very briefly about how the event will work. It'll be like our other ones have. We'll be posting regularly to our WhatsApp and our Facebook pages. Would encourage us all of us that are on the call and everyone that's listening to this as a recording, to please share information about the food you're consuming. Show us pictures of what you're making for lunch or dinner or breakfast, and give us any insights that each of you may have in terms of summer and fire element. Again, we want to encourage you all to post along with us. And we're obviously showing you foods that we call as required and recommended in table foods, but recognizing the fact that we all eat a little bit differently. We all have access to different things in our lives. Just join us in and share this. And looks like I messed up on my slide here. This is supposed to be summer wellness, not winter wellness. So my apologies on that typo. I want to talk about a couple of other things real quick here, if I can. First of all, Sunrider Australia has two great promotions going on right now. One of them is in preparation of our 40th anniversary and the celebration of our grand convention at the new facility in Dallas, Texas. Again, folks, look, I recognize how challenging the concept of international travel is today. We're still living in a world of COVID and a lot of things happening out there. So what Sunrider's done is they put together two programs for us. One is a virtual program where you can attend convention virtually. The other one, of course, is for those brave souls that do want to travel internationally and come visit us in the US and Dallas. And I hope there are some, because I would love to see you all, but I do recognize how challenging it is to travel. One of the things, and I mean, you guys have seen all this information from Patrick. Again, I'll be posting it again for us all to see. But within the Grand Convention program, there are a number of ways that you can earn points to pay for your trip. I do want to remind everybody that there are early bird registrations where you can get discounts. The early bird registration for the virtual convention package ends on May 1st. It's $149. It goes up by $50 if you register after May 1st. So again, I would encourage everybody to register early. Commit to it. When we talk about being a successful leader in Sunrider, one of the many things that I feel is extremely important is to attend every event. So if you can't be there in person, be there virtually. We're going to hear a lot of great things about the future of Sunrider and where this company is heading. So be there. All right. If you are able to travel in person, the early bird registration ends again on May 1st. The cost is $299. It goes up to $349 after May 1st. And again, you'll find that there's a lot of different packages and so forth available for you. The other one is this Elevate to Elite program that's going on. And this one's all about developing star elites within our organization. And there's a lot of wonderful prizes that can be earned depending on how many star elites you're able to create during the period of February 1st through April 30th of this year. And again, folks, a star elite is some person in your organization, an IBO, that does $400 in their personal or PV and $1,800 within their DV. And this is the first rank in the compensation program where you do have to have another IBO underneath you, first level, contributing to that DV. So again, I don't want to go into a lot about the comp plan here, but it really is a key level. And one of the things that we've been spending a lot of time within our groups around the world talking about this last month is, again, focusing with your IBOs on achieving at least star prime, which is $1,000 versus the 1,800 in a builder leg, okay, which is so important in terms of creating the stability in your group. But hey, along the way to star elite is star prime. So if we can start working with our IBOs to get to star prime or star elite consecutively, we're building a strong foundation underneath ourselves in terms of our organization. But again, we'll share more information on these programs. I know that you've seen it all. It's been sent out to everyone from the office there in Waterloo. But if you have any questions, we can come back and talk about these things later. The other thing I wanted to remind everybody is, there's two summertime pampering favorites, in my opinion. Number one is, I know you guys have the new SPF 30 Sun Milk available in Australia now. I suspect you've all been using it anyway, but I just wanted to give a little plug for Sun Milk. And also the new Candescent Pure set, okay, which we talked a little bit about ahead of the call, and we can chat some more afterwards, but I love both of these products. Summertime, heck, summer, winter, it doesn't matter. We have a hard sun here in Arizona where I live. So I'm using Sun Milk year round when I go outside, simply because I've got fair skin and I live in an environment that burns me. So I want to make sure my skin's protected. And in terms of pampering our skin, the face in particular, I've been using the Candescent Pure set now for the last 3 months, every single day. I love it. So we talked on our last call about Candescent Pure. We'll talk more on future calls about it. But if you haven't tried it, I highly recommend Candescent Pure, any skin type, any skin color, any age. Moving right along. Couple of other things I want to remind everybody, don't forget, even though we're talking summer right now, autumn is right around the corner. After autumn comes winter. It's never too soon to start nourishing our immune and our respiratory systems, getting ready for the next seasons. So I just want to remind everybody, if you're not eating alpha-20 and Conco or quinary as a whole every day, please consider it. Look at including these as we head into our next seasonal events coming forward. And I also wanted to share with you guys something that I'm not sure anybody in Australia knows about right now, but this is big news. There is a product coming back to Australia that I know is going to make everybody happy, and I'm just going to go ahead and share it with you right now. Sunbreeze Oil and Balm is coming back to Australia. Okay, it'll probably be mid-year, okay, because it's going to take some time to get the labeling and everything taken care of for Australia, but it's coming back. The way that Patrick's been able to do it, he's bringing it back as a cosmetic product. All right, so we have to be a little bit careful on how we talk about it, at least on social media and things like that. But Sunbreeze Oil and Balm, hopefully we'll be back in Australia no later than like June. So that's the big news on the new product. We need to let Patrick promote it and do his thing as he will from a company standpoint. But I wanted you guys and the people listening to this recording to be the first people to know this. So that's going to be happening. And just kind of to shut down the call today a little bit, I want to thank the three of you for being on the call. And again, I know it's tough with Chinese New Year getting folks on these live calls. So I hope there's a lot of people that will listen to this in the recording and that will choose to join us on this summer wellness seasonal event. Again, look at the products, join us on our WhatsApp and our Facebook pages. Let's make this fun. I'm going to try to post something kind of every other day if I can that's fire element or seasonal related in terms of how I'm eating and those kind of things. And I hope you guys will all do the same. So with that, let me stop my share And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to close down the recording. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us, and let's go out there and nourish our fire element, everybody. All right.